Hi, welcome to Enter the Bunker, where we launch you into thriving. Each week we talk about a different virtue that can be used as a building brick to build your own personal bunkers. We share personal stories, as well as tips and tricks to help you thrive instead of survive. So sit down, relax, and enter the bunker.
Hello and welcome to Enter the Bunker. This week's building brick is faithfulness. My name's Kelly.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we're going to go over the meaning of faithfulness. Loyalty to our beliefs, regardless of what happens, being true to the people we love. That is the meaning of faithfulness. So we'll go over, we have 4 quotes here. I think there's 4. So I'm going to go over those. The first one is, faithfulness and loyalty is not an option in a relationship. It's a priority if it must work. That's from Anne Nowakama.
Yeah, you got it.
Next quote, becoming faithful to yourself. If you do, it will become natural towards everyone else. Unarine Ramaru. Third quote, we shouldn't have to be faithful. We should want to be faithful. Larry Kramer, an American playwright.
Kramer.
What did I say? Kramer? I'm thinking of ramen noodles or something. Kramer. And fourth quote, otherwise, without faith, it becomes very difficult to keep pushing forward every day. Darren Wiggins, an author. So is there any of these quotes that pop up to you?
So of all these quotes, I'd say we shouldn't have to be faithful. We should want to be faithful.
Yeah.
And I think that really comes down to when it comes to having faithfulness, it has to come from a place of want. Right. Not from necessarily from having to.
Yeah.
Because then basically if you have to have faithfulness, it's almost like
it's not going to last.
It's not going to last. Yeah. And you have to, if you have to have faithfulness, then there's going to be kind of like a manipulative sort of factor to it. Do you know what I mean? Like there has to be some kind of external force to have faithfulness. Mm-hmm. And so it becomes something that just, I think
it'd be exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So we should want to have faithfulness.
Yeah.
And with that means that we hold faithfulness as something in high esteem. Right. Mm-hmm. And when you see people who aren't faithful, then you understand that it usually is because of their value hierarchy. Once again, right? You look back at their value hierarchy and you see what is important to them.
Yeah.
And if faithfulness isn't up there, then that's what we call a red flag, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? So,
definitely a red flag.
So you need to have it in something in high esteem, which means it's something we want, right?
Right.
And so if somebody is operating with that kind of thought process, with that kind of value in their lives, you'll see it come through, and it's something that brings greater, I want to see, care, greater importance to whatever they're faithful in. So.
Okay.
And a lot of these quotes are, they tend to be like about relationships in general.
Right.
But faithfulness is really, and oftentimes a lot of people revert to just talking about relationships in this. That's
sense, the first thing that comes to my mind, but it's so much more.
Yeah, I mean, there's such thing as being a faithful friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Faithful coworker.
Faithful
worker in general.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of ways that this applies, but again, like when you say coworker, it's like, do you have to be faithful, like as a coworker?
Yeah.
Like, does that really work? You should want to be.
Yeah.
Right. So there's lots of ways that this can apply, and I feel like of all the quotes, that one I feel speaks to that more.
Right. I like the last one. Otherwise, without faith, it becomes very difficult to keep pushing forward every day. I don't know why I do. I guess because maybe I've been in a spot where I wasn't so faithful about like the future. It was more so like my life in general.
Yes.
So yeah, and it was hard to put. You didn't want to go forward. You didn't want to wake up the next day. You didn't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's faith in terms of faith in future, faith in yourself, faith in And so,
society.
yeah, so faithfulness in that sense is very difficult to push forward every day. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
You know, you need to, it's funny, I often say walk by faith and not by sight. Right. And because the times when you do walk by faith, you actually are blind. Like and this sometimes when people say, you know, oh, it's blind faith. Yeah. Right. And some people say, you know, they poo-poo on that. Yeah. Right. The truth is that sometimes when you're walking in those in that kind of space in blind faith, that's some of your most powerful moments in your life oftentimes, because you are walking by faith, and it takes a certain amount of strength to be able to do that. Yeah. And a lot of people just are so afraid to actually do that they just never do. And that it closes so many opportunities. Yeah. Right. So like if you're going to a job interview, for example, it's like, are you going to have faith that you're going to get the job? Yeah. Or are you going to walk in and be like, no, blah, 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 and then just end up destroying it yourself. Right. So it's all about, so a lot of people practice faith in this sense all the time, just in varying degrees, right? So in order to be able to get out of your comfort zone and live in your die zone, like we talk about so often, you do have to have faith. Yeah. You know, that you're not going to actually die in your die zone. You're simply going to grow.
Faithfulness, as mentioned in the beginning, is loyalty to our beliefs, regardless of what happens. Sometimes in life, you may be tempted to cheat or take the easy way out. That is the opposite of being faithful to your beliefs. Things can and will get hard in your life, and it may seem easier just to change yourself and allow yourself to be run over by the difficulties. But as many of the other building bricks that we've discussed, sticking to what you believe in is the only way to thrive. If you are a person who sticks to what they believe in, who keeps their word, and who values the people in their life, you'll be a person that people will gravitate towards, giving you a support system when you need it most. Faithfulness means sticking doing what you believe, even when it's not easy and you feel like giving up. If you stick to your beliefs, you'll be better off for it. So that kind of just summarized what we just talked about, pretty much, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's about sticking to your beliefs and being faithful in that. And the truth is that it just, can you think of anybody who doesn't if somebody who's not somebody who doesn't practice being faithful to what they stand for and what they believe in. Yeah. Just think about those types of people in your life. And when you think about just how unreliable they are, or how difficult it is to deal, and the difficulties they have in their lives. Yeah. You can see how a lack of faith can really just reduce your quality of living so greatly. So
it really can. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. But I mean, the truth is, it's a building brick. So again, we can build this up. Yeah. Right. And so that's what we're doing.
And practice it.
And practicing it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And that ties up part 1 of faithfulness. Stay tuned for part 2.
Part 2 is coming to you.
Thank you for listening to Enter the Bunker. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, where you can share your story and also look at behind the scenes of how we make our podcast. You can watch the video version of this podcast on YouTube by simply searching Enter the Bunker. Tune in next time as we launch into thriving.